Hiya. Hi, Tracy. Just shared the video into the Crafting with Sentimentally Yours Facebook page. Oh, quite a few of you jumped on in that minute or so it took me to do that. Hi everybody, Debbie, Sue. Sue, you not want any new fairy hugs this time? Not seen an order from you yet. You're normally really quick. Dates have been moving all over the place though, so maybe you've not seen them. Hi Helen, Josephine, Caroline, Sandy, Annette. Nice to see you on this beautiful sunny Sunday morning. It might all change quite quickly as the weather does. Hi Maureen, Sonia. We're going to work with this background that I've got in front of me, which I created during one of my YouTube videos. So Phil and I are on a mission to try and get our YouTube channels up to 1,000 subscribers on each channel, so that we can, oh good Caroline, that's good, so that we can actually do some live streaming on YouTube, which will correspond probably with some new releases. So it'd be wonderful if you're not already a subscriber. I mean, I have nearly 6,000 followers on my Facebook page, so it would be nice if a sixth of those would actually subscribe. It'd be absolutely fantastic. So you need to pop over to the YouTube channel. I will share the link in a moment, and subscribe. It's not sufficient though just to subscribe, because sometimes, because especially at the moment we're on a kind of mission to raise Sue, no, don't. I was just worried that you've not seen, that's all. Yeah, we're on because we're on a mission to get so many followers. We've had quite an influx over the last few days, and what happens sometimes, YouTube see a rise in subscribers, and if they're just subscribers and you don't actually interact with the YouTube channel at all, they think, hang on a minute, that's all spam, and they just knock them all off. So it'd be really handy if you do subscribe, if you just go on there, watch a few minutes of video, like and comment on a video, and then YouTube will realise that you're a proper subscriber, and then the numbers will keep on rising. But it's happened before to me. We've had in some of the other groups, we've been sharing all our YouTube channel numbers, and they've gone up, and then 2 or 3 days later they've plummeted again, and that's because YouTube have taken some of the subscribers off of us, which is a little bit rude, but that's what happens. So anyway, I've just shared my channel there. I will just share Phil's again for you so you can see it while everybody's just jumping on. I know an awful lot of you have already subscribed to the YouTube channel, so I mean, thank you so much, it's much appreciated. And I mean, like I say, I've been doing some YouTube videos specifically for YouTube, and I know Phil will be doing that too. So I've just put Phil's up on there as well, and like I say, once we reach 1,000, we can live stream. We're not allowed to live stream until we reach 1,000, and then we can do some stuff on there and do giveaways and stuff like that. So anywho, let's crack on with today's demonstration. I hope you get better soon, Sue, I really do. So I'm not going to tell you how well, this is just a resist background, and it's got some luster pigments in the background, and the ones I used were these three here. So we've got the Enchanted Wisteria, we've got New Gold, and we've also got Seafoam. So you will find on my channel, you will find the video for that, and I'll just share you the link of that as well. For some reason, I can't watch my YouTube videos on YouTube. I can watch everybody else's, but not mine. I really don't know what's going on, but it's driving me nuts. I'm just assuming everything's all right because people are actually commenting. So I've just shared into the comment stream. I've just shared the video on how to make this background and two other backgrounds as well. So those are they. So that's what we've used. That's going to be our main background. And then the idea is that we're going to pop one of the torn stitched ovals onto it. So you can see as soon as you put a frame around it, it becomes more interesting, and you can kind of move around and figure out which bits and pieces that you want to have. Glitter everywhere. Glitter everywhere. I'm not too sure whether I want to... I think I'm going to leave this particular frame this colour, so we might as well crack on, and then we can do some of the other pieces and have those dry. This is the Wire Textures die. It's super fine, like the Moroccan one. I do have some of these left in stock on my website. I'm into sharing links today. Why don't I don't know why I don't normally do this. I'm bonkers, aren't I, for not doing this? Here we go. Sentimentally Yours. I'll just show you the link to Sentimentally Yours on my website. Oh, I don't know why that's gone into Sentimentally Yours. I'll fix something in a minute. Ignore the there's a stamp on there that isn't Sentimentally Yours, so ignore that. I'll fix that later on. I'm not going to fix it while we're doing this. Hello, my darling. Thank you, Josephine. I love wisterias. I love wisterias as well when they're trained into trees. Ignore that stamp. That stamp that's come up, it's not. It's not a Sentimentally Yours. I don't know why it's in there. It's one of my pre-loved. I don't know why it's there. It's bugging me now. Let's see if I can get rid of it for a minute. I can't find it. Oh, no, it's not. No, I can't find it at the moment. All right, anyhow, yeah, so this is the Wire background, and we're going to use a little bit of that, and we want that but underneath the frames. So first of all, first things first, let's get some tape on this frame. Oh yeah, my dad used to have a beautiful wisteria. Most wisterias are purple, aren't they? But you can get white ones as well. There's a village I drive through. This can take me a while because it's an oval. There's a village I drive through, Olney, when I go into the studios, and there's quite a few old houses along the main road, and it's sort of May time, isn't it, that wisteria's out. And it's just absolutely glorious. It really is absolutely beautiful. Of course, if you've got wisteria around the house, it can be a bit invasive, can't it? Because the roots can get into your mortar and into the roof space and all sorts of things. So it does need to be trained, but it is absolutely stunning when it's in its full glory. Thank you, Heather. I did catch up with all the Sentimentally Yours birthday weekend orders yesterday. My delivery came very late on Friday, so I couldn't get any in the post on Friday. I did try and did think about it, and I thought, no, this is ridiculous. I'm going to make mistakes. So I did parcel them up on Friday night, and then I put all the posts on Saturday and took them to the sorting office yesterday afternoon. So I'm not sure if it's gone in the system, if they've gone in the system yet. So I think what we might want to do, we don't want it in as a whole. I think what we're going to do is we're going to just tear it. Ouch, 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 ouch. If you're uncomfortable tearing, just snip it with your scissors. And I bet you that's what Mr. M did. I can't imagine that he would have torn his. So of course with this, you can have it up either way, whichever way you want to, because it doesn't really matter. So I'll fiddle around with that in a second. Let's get the back off this. Oh, that reminds me, actually. That's a good reminder, Caroline. I've forgotten there's Souls of Only. Is it Souls of Only? Or is that a car place? That's a car place. Oh, I can't remember the name now. When we moved into 2 Mile Ash, the company we were going to use, it might have been that one. We made the mistake of mentioning that company to the people who were buying our house, because basically we did a house swap. And I think because it's such a small company, they got in before us, so they had that good company. We ended up with a company that were not good, actually. In the garage, we had a double garage at the time that we moved into. They just piled up a load of things into the double garage, just piled them. It was just like a bonfire heap. It was awful, absolutely awful. I wasn't very impressed. So we're just going to pick up our background like this. Oh, I was going to put paint on this. Too late. Too late. Oh, I do want that straightish. Hang on a sec. Thinking I do want it straightish like that. Let's have it. Pick it up like that. There we go. And just trim that off. You tore them? Did you really? I am absolutely gobsmacked. I really am. Was it painful tearing it? I can't imagine you tearing it. I honestly thought you snipped it with scissors. I know you said you tore it, but I didn't believe you. Oh dear. Right. Okay. So there's my little bits, and these little bits we could use these. I probably won't, but we could do. So let's just put a little bit of extra glue, just so, because we're going onto a glittered area, and we want to make sure that it actually sticks. So once we've got this done, then we can figure out what's going to go underneath. I've got an idea in my head, but it might not be what happens. And I'm not going to add any glue to that, because my Sentiment will actually glue it down in anyway. Ovals are a bit weird because they do I want it that high? Which bit do I want to use? Let's use that bit, because it's hard to line them up. They look lovely, but it's just hard to line them up. So the actual stencil that we've used here is the one from the Compendium box kit. Right, so that's gonna, let's just leave that for a second so it settles. Now I was going to do something, because I've got a torn stitched rectangle here. This is the biggest one, and I was going to do a stamp on here, because I did think that it would be rather lovely to take the Mandala Crackle and just stamp it a couple of times, because it fits. The length is perfect for that, so we could stamp that a couple of times, but then I changed my mind, as you do, and I thought we'd do something totally different. I think that would look lovely, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do something totally different. So let's go down to my bucket. I'll put the lid on my bowl. Awards. Oh, it might have been. When we moved into 2 Mile Ash, it was, that was 20 years ago. Yeah, yeah, that was 20 years ago. Gosh, how time flies. Right, so I've got a natural sponge here. And so we are going to, actually, let's pull out, what have I got? I don't want to do it on my mat, I've decided. I'm going to use one of these indigo blue jobbies, one of their paint mats. Space, 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 space. Check you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Morning, Christine. Right, so I'm going to use some coordinating paints that will coordinate with the luster powders that I've used. So I figured that these would, I mean, the green isn't spot on, but it's close. So we've got, and these are the new metallic paints. So we've got fresh green, we've got the gold, and we've got the heliotrope. So I think they're a good enough match for those. Obviously, when I did the background, I didn't know what I was going to do afterwards. So let's just fetch the, what should we do first? We do the decisions. Let's do the green first, because that one will be the one that's going to be less prominent. With my finger. And let's just fetch a little bit out with a spatula. Probably what's in the lid. Might be enough. That's plenty. That's very generous, that. Here it click. So I've started to be good and actually put my paints upright. I'm going to have to do a little swatch to go on the top so I can see what they all are, but I haven't got time for that at the moment. So we're going to just take a little bit of our sponge, little area of our sponge, and pick it up, pick the paint up, and we're going to do some sponging. Because we are actually only going to see the corners. See, I told you I had plenty of paint. Depending on which area of your sponge that you use, you're going to have a different pattern coming through. It dries very quickly. Let's go for the gold now. Old Brook and Springfield, yeah. It's quite, is it, I think it's Springfield that's got quite a good pub on it, isn't it? Oh, am I thinking of Simpson? I think I'm thinking of Simpson. That's far too much. I don't want that much, put a little bit back. There's so much that you get in these pots. Okay, the lid on. Nice noise. And we go for a different area. There are better sponges than this. This is just the one I picked up. I'm actually quite low on my sponges. I did actually do, when in my second ever house that I owned, I did actually sponge one of the walls for a feature wall, which is really cool. So now we're going to add some gold on top. You can do this with the powders as well. You can make yourself a paint and dip your sponge in that. Okay, have I got one more area left? It looks like I might have. Heliotrope. It's only because I'm too lazy to find another sponge. Because when they dry rock hard, these sponges. I have got some more somewhere else. That's far too much again, Julia. They're highly pigmented. They're going to last you. I mean, there might be little pots, but they're mighty. That's what they are. Which area shall I have? This area here. Right. So you want to get your sponge all going first of all. Look at my fingers. And then you just blob some on. And I'm using pure white card. I'm not using a watercolour card because I wanted that pure white contrast. There we go, that will do. And these acrylic paint mats from Indigo Blue are very good. I'm not sure if Phil will be able to get some in for the shop, but this will clean off. Even when it dries, this will clean off. The only thing that's quite difficult to clean off it is gesso. But yeah, they're really worth having. Obviously, you could colour in your flowers and all sorts of bits and pieces with what's left on there. Let's just clean my mat. Hi, Aisha. It does. I mean, it does clean off the mat. You don't have to use the. I just thought because I was going to make quite a mess that I'd pull in the paint mat. Okie dokie. So there's our background. It's nearly dry. We give that a chance to dry, and you've got that lovely metallic sheen to it, and you do get a little bit of texture going on as well. Now, what you could do if you wanted more texture is you could actually mix the paint with some of the texture medium before you sponge it on, and that'll give you more dimension and a bit more of a texture if you wanted it. So that's the background. Then we want to do some flowers, and I'm thinking, actually, let's trim this down because I don't know. My thought process isn't complete yet. So I've used 2mm tape on the back of this, so I can easily go around with my scissors at an angle. And these are the Oakwood Archer, or you could use the Tim Holtz red-handled scissors. My favourite type, and it is the super smooth watercolour card that this background is on, because there was quite a lot of water that I threw at it. Nearly round. Nearly there. I've got a little bit of foam tape sticking out there, which is going to drive me nuts. Over the edge of my torn. That might be where a flower goes. Oh, there we go. There we go. So it makes a difference. As soon as you've trimmed it, it makes a difference. I've got blinking glitter everywhere. Me and glitter, not my favourite. Once it's there, it's everywhere. Right, so this is where I'm undecided. So I'm undecided as to whether to take another white one. Needs something on it to keep it flat. Another white one, and then we'll go on to this one. That's quite nice, actually. Or I didn't know whether to, wherever I put it, there it is. I didn't know whether to go on to black. Oh, because we're going to have black underneath. Hang on, let's tell you the whole story. So there's a plan, but it's a semi-plan, because I reserve the judgment to change my mind. So obviously now we've got that black. I mean, we've got black with the wire anyway, so that's fine. I'm going to put this underneath my board in a minute so it flattens down. This is because I haven't used watercolour card. Or what we could do is have a black one on here. I think that's going to be too stark, actually, myself. Oh, wrong one. Actually, what do we do? What do we think? Do we think black? I'll try to do it again. Or white? I think black. I think we're going to go with black. I'm glad I cut two of them out. I didn't bin that one. I think we're going to go black. I think I like that better. It pops more. Yeah, I'm glad you're in agreement, because that's what we're doing. Oh, I did some rag rolling as well. Do you remember doing rag rolling? I used to love my paint techniques in my second house. All right, so yeah, we're going with that. That's good. Happy with that. Right, so this is going to go under my board for a minute, just so that I can flatten it out. And what we've also got from the compendium box, I know Phil used some of these yesterday. We've got some of the grey board. So we're going to have those here. Pretend we've got our background on there. We're going to have, I was going to do that and then on the back and then another one of those, but now I'm wondering whether this one should be black. Or whether I should paint it. I think we're going to have it black. I'm going to have to cut another one. See, I've got myself all organised, but I'm disorganised. Let's just cut one of them black ones. I can do it quite quickly because I'm all plugged in. That's a bit of tape. We're in a black mood today, aren't we? I did think originally, I was wondering whether to actually paint the back surfaces as well, but no, I think black, definitely black. I'm really running out of card. Desperately need some more card. Put an order in this week. I seem to have used so much card recently. I'll turn it on. Right. So yes, so we're going to do those, and we're going to do some flowers as well. So we've got our daisies. We're going to have a sentiment on here, which I think I'll do in black actually now. Here we go. Yeah, that'll work. So I think we'd stamp in black as well. These, I think what we're going to do is paint them in gold. And I'll show you what we're going to do with the flowers as well. So we do the sentiment in a moment because we're not embossing. I'm not worried about putting that somewhere else. Which way am I doing these? I'm doing them that way, aren't I? No, I want that one at the top. Hang on a minute. Let me just suss out which way around I want them. I think I wanted that one up there. And I want that one like that. So we want to paint them that way around. So that's going to be painted with paint. These are going to be painted with oh, and I've got a stamen as well. Put on the stamen, there it is. So we've got sensational stamens, and this is the dotted daisy. So I've got some sensational stamens left on my website. Not many, but I do have a few. Out of the new ones, I haven't got any of the borders, and I haven't got any Moroccan dies left. I'll have to have a look, see if I can order some more in, or whether Phil's already run out of them. So we're going into palette. So we do the flowers first because we need to shape this flower, because I do need to use it. So again, we're using this palette, and I've got all of my colours written on the outside, and these are separated into the packs that we had on Create and Craft, and I imagine that Phil's selling them in the same configurations. I've just got individuals on my website. So we're going to go with the Enchanted Wisteria and the Seafoam, which is what we actually used in our background. So everything's going to coordinate nicely. If you want more of a glaze rather than a paint, you can actually mix some watered down PVA with some of your powders and make a glaze paint kind of thing if you want to. But obviously you can't regenerate that, so you'd want to do that on your craft sheet. Don't do it in your palette, because once it's dry in your palette you won't be able to get it out, or you will, but with great difficulty, because obviously the glue will be set. Right, so in my palette, I'm not going to add any more because I've got enough here to work with. We've got the Enchanted Wisteria and we've got the Seafoam and just a little bit of powder, and then water will kind of set it all going. And I'm just going to, obviously once it started going, then it starts flying all around the place. And you can just add some water and give it a mix. You will need to obviously mix it again to make sure it's going again as a paint. And then we're just going to do the paint part of the petals like I've done before. You can paint the whole thing, but we're just painting part of the petals. There is actually a video that I put onto YouTube, which is just a YouTube video with an octagonal card, and it uses some of the paints and the texture medium and stencils and a bunch of new products from the birthday weekend. And this will dry reasonably quickly, but it just depends on how much water you put, because obviously the more water you've used, the longer it's going to take to dry. I don't want to put any more water in there really. So random, very random. And then we'll take our seafoam. And it is worth doing yourself swatches. I have got swatches. Where's my swatches? Let's find them. So I've got my swatches in my Studio Light album here. So these are your luster pigments. So it's worth doing them on the card you're going to use. So this is the Super Smooth watercolour card. And this is, where's my other one? First one, here it is. And this is the new watercolour, black watercolour card. So you can see that they really pop on black. And some of them are slightly different, like the olive. It has more of a gold hue on black card. So it's worth doing that if you're going to use them on different colour card. So we're using the seafoam. And the seafoam is again more golden on black card. So it's worth doing yourself some swatches. So we're going to colour in the stamen with the seafoam. If you want more of the mica, don't do it so watery. And so as you can see, this black piece of card just gets transformed into a lovely metallic. Obviously you can use the paint as well. You can absolutely do this with the paints. I'll put my finger in the centre because that's where my pearl's going. And leave this open to set down. So set down so that the water evaporates and then you've got a solid again. If you put the lid on, then the water takes longer to evaporate, and if you did kind of move it around, it could mean that you contaminate the colours next to it. So do leave it open and put it to one side. That's my tip. Yeah, it is proper black. It's a lovely watercolour card. I think I've got 3 or 4 packs left, not many. Right, might have to pull one out for me. Right, so that's that painted. We'll leave those to dry and we'll paint this here as well. So these are going to be gold. So we're going to use the paint for this. The reason I'm using the paint rather than the luster pigments is that the paint is an acrylic paint and it's going to give me better coverage just with one coat, whereas the luster powders will work, but they're better on a gesso base first. If you actually did these, say, with black gesso, it would be rather lovely to paint your luster pigments on top. Obviously, you could go onto the plain grey board, but you'd probably want a couple of coats, and it wouldn't. If you wanted the white version, it wouldn't be very white with the luster pigments. So just going from the lid, the coverage that you get from these paints is just absolutely amazing. They are, I mean, I'm sure we've said before, they're highly pigmented. They are multi-surface paints, so they will cure on fabric over time. and they'll go on loads of things. I can't even think of any surfaces now. MDF as well as grey board, obviously. They're perfect for your card. I know I've seen some on pottery, and then it's been fired afterwards. So yeah, multi-surface. And you can make a wash with them, so you can water them down and use them for a background for a wash if you wanted to. So like the background that we've got with the luster pigments, you can absolutely do the same sort of resist technique with the paints as well, but you do need to water them down quite a bit because they're acrylic. They're not going to pop off things. They want to stick, it's a multi-surface, so they want to stick to everything. That's a bit too much there. As I said, these flourishes are from the Compendium box kit. I've just got 2 of those left. And then once they've gone, they're gone. You can get stamps in there, there's card in there, there's grey board, there's a stencil, a couple of embossing folders, there's some dies in there, there's so much value. There's an exclusive glitter, there's an exclusive embossing powder as well. There's loads of stuff in that Compendium box kit. Such good value. Really there. Okay, there's my flourish painted. It's just like I'm just going to use it as an extra leaf. As it's acrylic paint, do make sure that you don't leave your brushes just standing around, not in water. Pop them in some water. Okay, so that's that. Let's get a sentiment stamped, and then we can make our flowers and construct the rest of our card. Couple of mucky fingers. Hi, Alison. Right, so from a sentiment, I'm just going to use, not that, that's the mandala thing. I'm just going to use one of these. So this is your Tray Chic Essential Sentiments. Forgot to put my teeth in this morning. They are my own teeth at the moment, what I've got left. So I think we're just going to have Just For You. That's just going to go in there. I'm just going to stamp it freehand and hope for the best. I might practice first. There's a block. A block. That'll do. I have, talking about YouTube, I have just recorded a little matchbox demonstration with one of the Studio Light dies, but I've used the Tray Chic papers. So this one will probably drop onto the YouTube channel on Tuesday. So I've just done that one. I don't know how many Sentimentally Yours videos I've got on there. I've got a lot. Because there was the load from a couple of years ago when we went into lockdown, and when was my black? Is that the latest black? First the 10th, yeah. Yeah, so there was all of those that I did for the TV. Or did I do those as Facebook Lives? I can't remember. There's definitely a load that I did for the TV on there. Let's just go for it. Just For You. There's some techniques ones. I've set up a separate section for the flawless media to the normal stamping one. So this one I will upload later, and this one will go into the flawless media playlist. So if you're only interested in one thing, there's a playlist section, and you can just choose the playlist that you're interested in. Fingers crossed. Yes. Perfecto. So that's Versifying Claire the Nocturne. So that'll take a little while to dry. And while that's drying, let's shape our flower. Is this dry? Yes. So we want an embossing tool, turn them over. and just run my embossing tool down to the centre. This is one of the Vasson Creative embossing tools. I've got a couple of sets of these left. The Crafts 2 magnets for your stamping platform, which I've got in packs of 2 or 4, they weren't on their website when I went to reorder last week, so I'm not sure if they've discontinued them, which is very sad. So if you're needing some magnets for your stamping platform, some spare ones, because you know I love magnets, I've got lots of magnets, do make sure that you, if you're shopping on the website, you pop some of those in, because I don't know if I can get any more. There are some Vasson Creative ones that I can get hold of, but they are more expensive, and they're the same thing. So that's just a word of warning. So we turn our spiders over, and when you press in the centre, then it kind of pops up a bit. You still get that when you paint them. You can still see you've got that. If you light touch, you can still keep that spotty detail, which is really cool. And then for the stamen, we're just going to run that round in a circular motion, then it just pops up. Yeah, I think I started my channel 2 years ago, actually, when we went into lockdown. So yeah, so that all my lives have gone on there, all my Facebook lives have gone on there, and like I say, I'm like Phil is going to do, I'm starting to record ones just for YouTube, just because sometimes I think, oh, I've got 10 minutes or so. Well, it's not 10 minutes, is it? It's normally like between 30 and 40 minutes. I've got a few minutes, or I'll plan it in the evening, and I think, right, first thing in the morning I'll do this. And it's not necessarily a time where it's good to just say, oh, I'll do a live, because nobody might not be convenient, or people might not want to watch. So yeah, it's finding time and planning. These take longer to plan than, say, my fairy hugs ones are quite quick to plan, because basically I just get some stamps out and a tag and just go for it, see what happens. These are the Gemporium. This is a champagne. These are your multifaceted black back gems, and there's 5mm and 8mm in here, and I'm using one of the 8s, and you can only get these from Honeypot Crafts, because he won't let me have them, and he's there giggling now. Right, yes, as Phil says, he's not reordering the sensational stamens again, so if you want them, while I've got stock and Phil's got stock, you need to get them. And they just, I mean, I can't do a flower without putting a stamen in now. I'm not worried about that extra glue, it'll be fine. I just don't want my gem to go anywhere. So yeah, just make sure that you get your stamens, because the flowers you just raise your flowers up a level by having them like that. So let's see where we're at with this card. So it's a bit kinky. It's not like me. I'm not kinky at all. Why is it kinky? Right. Okay, so glitter everywhere. This is driving me nuts. I can't stand all this glitter. Right, that's flattened out a wee bit. So let's get this on here first. Now stitch torn rectangles. Remember, the stitch torn squares have all gone. There aren't any more at the moment. Phil's going to order some more, but not until later this year. So I've currently got all the other shapes in stock, and so has Phil. So don't miss out. You want to make sure that you get the shapes that you want, because they will all kind of marry up with all the previous kind of shapes or previous designs, which is fab. This one we're going to raise up a wee bit, make sure it's nice and flat. What shall I do? Let's do 2mm. I normally go for 1, but I think because we've got 2mm on the frame, I think we'll do 2mm on the back. Stamens are fab, aren't they? The fact that you get 6 different designs. See, Phil could have actually done tiny die sets, couldn't he? He could have just done a die set with 3 sizes of one. So you could have had stamens 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. But you've got you can mix and match them. You've got all of them there on your mag sheet. So I think it's a wonderful collection. Another 2mm tape. Here we go. I think it's just such a shame that there are so many new products released at the end of February, and we didn't seem to have enough time to share all the possibilities, which I think is the benefit of Facebook Lives and YouTube videos, that you can kind of see the potential, and you'll all be starting to get your products now, so you can all kind of think, oh right, oh I want to make that, how do I make that, and then you can watch it back on YouTube, which is fabulous. So let's see if I can get that straight. That doesn't look the right size in the background, does it there? It doesn't look big enough. Hang on a minute. Let me just check. Doesn't look the right size. What have I done? Have I trimmed it down too much or too little? That should be 8.5. Hang on a sec. Let me check. It is 8.5. 8.5 by 7.25. That might not be big enough. Might need to be 8 3/4. Let's just have a look. Let's do a bigger one before we commit. Let's see if this looks better. Why didn't I spot that before? That's better. That looks even now. That would have bugged me. It doesn't take a lot. Right, we're just going to glue this down. Phil's giving you clues, isn't he? Need to bite your tongue, mate. You're giving away secrets. What is he like? Alright, so it really doesn't matter which way up this is, because, well, it does actually, because of the butterflies, so I'm talking rubbish. Look at all this glitter. Oh. That's going on there, like so. And then we'll put, let's see, will we put tape on there as well? Oh, let's just go for it. We're going for mega tape on this. It's been ages since I've used this much tape on anything. Actually, there's one more thing we'll do, just to kind of finish it off. Don't know if I think my paint's all dry now on my mat. Let's get a bit off. Butterflies facing the right direction. So it just about fits within that. Like so. So I think what we'll do is we'll just take, what have we got here? Just give that a little bit of a mist in my, just take one of these kitchen sponges, the cheap white ones, not the expensive green ones, and we'll go into there, pick some of that up, see where we're at, yeah, and we can just edge this with a bit of that as well, just like we would a distress ink. But when that dries, it'll be pearlescent. It just takes the bareness of the white off of the edge. Obviously, you can do that with your paint as well. And then that's going on my black oval. Did he? I mean, I had his Facebook Live on while I was having my lunch, and then when I was changing my bed, and then I turned it off for a little while because I was doing something else, and he was still there going. So I didn't hear absolutely everything he said. Still, it was a masterpiece. It'll take a long time to get that onto YouTube. That's the thing, actually. When I record videos for YouTube on my phone, it takes ages for the video to kind of, I don't know, upload to iCloud or wherever it is, and then it takes ages to get it off my phone onto my MacBook, and then ages to get it from my MacBook onto YouTube. It just takes ages. I'm sure there must be an easy way of doing it. I don't know how to edit my videos yet either, so that's something I'll have to figure out how to do at some point. So saltwater taffy, if you've ordered saltwater taffy, the new distress from, we're still waiting for that to come. It's been stuck in customs for a couple of weeks. I don't know what's going on in customs at the moment. So, but they keep on saying it should be released today, it should be released today, but then it doesn't. I don't get the invoice, so it's not been sent out. So it's a little bit frustrating, but I'm waiting for mine as well as you, so... So I've also got some Phil, when Phil moves out of a set at the studio, he leaves all sorts of things behind, and he left one of these behind. He left some flowers as well, but he left one of these behind, and I thought, oh, that's pretty. I'm not leaving that. I'm not putting that in the bin. So I've come home and I've cut some more, and I put some more glitter on the end, and this is the black onyx glitter on the end. You have to get that from Phil. I haven't got that. So I've just cut some more, so 3 have become 4, and I've just given them some shape. And to give them some shape, I've got another one here. All I've done is just hold it quite tight to the start of the leaf, and just bend it with your finger like that, and that's going to give you a little bit of shape. And then you just pop a little bit of glue on the end of each of the leaves, and put some of the black onyx glitter on and leave it to dry. And obviously the glue dries clear, and then you've got glittery leaves on it. So the idea is to have glue, because I'm a writer, this is how I tend to put my leaves and stuff. So we've got some black leaves going on here like so. Then we're going to bring in our flourishes. So we're having this one down here. So this is what I need to figure out where I want things. So it's like an extra leaf, the flourish. Just, I don't know whether this is going to work or not. We'll see. Let's see. Let's bring the flowers in and see whether it looks all right. So we want one flower up there, like so. And we want, I've got 2 other flowers that we're going to have down here. So how does that look? That looks all right, doesn't it? Right, that's what we're going to do then. So I'm just reading your comments. You're having a bit of banter with Mr. M, aren't you? Bit of bants. Let's get our leaves on. Ugh. Glue, stay. Never quite goes back in the same place. That's all right. I'll live with it. if you can hear any music in the background, Nathan's up. He's normally quite quiet though. I think it's just his Xbox starting up. I think sometimes we forget about things like this. You know, if you've got the compendium box kit, you forget that you've got these bits and pieces in, and they just add something extra. And then don't they look fabulous coloured in the with the metallic paint? It's just such a beautiful paint. So the flower's going to go there. Like, oh, let's have it down a bit like that. And I'm just using glue. I always just use the Sentimentally Yours glue to put my flowers on. It takes a little bit longer to grab than the pin flare, but you know, it's what I've always used. In fact, it does grab very quickly. Depends on the flower. Sometimes your flower, don't ignore the glue there, that'll dry clear. It depends on how much you put on, I think, how much glue. The more glue you put, the longer it takes to grab, because it's thicker. The less glue, the quicker it grabs. Does that make sense? That's going to go up there like so. This is the fun bit, the decorating bit. I mean, you could add, you know, some extra flowers around the sentiment if you want to, but that's not happening on this one. Because if I do fewer flowers, I can get through more. I do like flourishes. I think flourishes are my favourite type of grey board. You can even, here we go, look, pull that off, put that further down. Has it got glue on it? Yes, it has. Put that further down, because that's quite thin there. If you don't want to pull it, just cut it. Let's put some glue on the back of this one and this one. And then we'll have, if we have one there, just have that flourish put down on. Let's move it. I want that down a bit more. So what? Because I want to be able to see this. Because I tend to put my leaves on first and then my flowers. Let's put that down like that. So we can still see the flourish coming out of it. It looks like the flourish is longer. And then we'll pop. Let's pop that underneath there like so. So we've got the big one on top. Okay. So just to finish off, because I don't like having empty corners. Really don't like having empty corners. Let's go, because I've used the gold in the corner. Quite a lot of glue there. Good job it dries clear. Should we put black ones on? Yes, let's put black ones on, I think. Let's have a look. Some more of the Gemporium. The black ones, because I mean, these, like I say, these are the gold. We could have used black. I think I might go black in the corners. Obsidian, that's what it is. There's my pickup tool. Sometimes less is more, Mr. M. And you see, I didn't need to pop any glue underneath that, because the sentiment has grabbed it. So, you know, you get away with not doing so much gluing. So, pick up tool, we'll have an obsidian in the corner. Does that work? Have a look. Wait for the video to catch up with me. Yeah, I think that'll work, rather than the gold, because it pops more. One in the top. And one there, and I think we're done. Less is more. What's that then? Right. So yes. So we're done. So we've used the wire textures background. We've used the stitch torn ovals. We've got luster powders on here. We've got the Seafoam, the New Gold and the Enchanted Wisteria, and then we've used some of the paints. Also we used texture medium when I did the original background. We've got Fresh Green, we've got Gold, and we've got Heliotrope in the paints on there in that lovely sponge background. And we've got lots of glitter going on in the background. We've got lots of shimmer going with the powders and with the paint in the background. And we've got the lovely gold paint on the flourishes as well. And obviously the stitch torn rectangles just there. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Not bad for a quick one, really. I will be doing some more videos to use the other two backgrounds that I did on that YouTube video where I shared the link earlier in the comment stream. So you will find them over on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure if I'll do lives with them. I probably will just record them and put them onto YouTube, but I will let you know. I'll share within group. And don't forget, if you're not already a member of the Crafting with Sentiment, Film Arty and Sentimentally Yours Facebook page, do go and join the group. And if you're not already subscribers of our YouTube channels, again, I put the links earlier in the comment thread, and we would very much like you to subscribe so we can do some live streaming on YouTube too. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and don't forget to shop at juliawattscrafts.co.uk or honeypotcrafts.co.uk. Thank you very much. Bye.